the Grebbe Line, protection of the Netherlands, or in Dutch, the Grebbe Linie. We are here in the small town of Leusden, on a great walkable part of the Grebbe Line, which stretches from the river Rhine all the way to the IJsselmeer. The last time this defensive line was prepared for war was in 1940 with the Nazi invasion of the Netherlands, and it was the central point of defense of the Netherlands. It was built all the way back in 1744 to protect some of the major cities, The Hague, Rotterdam, and of course Amsterdam, the capital city. But nowadays it's free to roam, so we can go on the trip on the Grebbe Line, the Grebbe Linie. My grandparents and mother and uncle lived here, real close to this part of the Grebbe Line, so I heard many stories of all the bunkers and all the snakes. From practices of the Dutch army, but also going into the bunker and finding old relics of the past. So my grandfather found even a bayonet right here on this very stretch of land. As you can see, it used to be all farmlands, you know, to really protect the cities, but nowadays it's in a new livable quarter of the Netherlands. A little bit more history. First building of the line occurred on 28th of November 1744. They had to hurry up, for the French armies already invaded the south of the Netherlands, and after the fall of Bergen op Zoom and Maastricht, it was thought of the Grebbe Line would face its first battle, but the King Louis XV made his army return home, and in 1780 Aachen. Right after the peace, the Dutch government kept building on the Grebbe Line. In 1794 the French army tried it second time, but this time the inundation system, which is also right here everywhere, which flooded the lands right before the line, and also they made many cannons on this line and bunkers, so now they could fight off the French. And even other countries sent help. The British and the Irish army sent a regiment, but eventually the French army won. In the years of French occupation, the French built onto the Grebbe Line and also built the Pyramid of Auschwitz, of which you could have seen the film I made about it. Or the video rather. Then it was a long time silent on the line, till 1939. With the start of Second World War and the attack on Poland, of course, the Dutch government decided to build onto the line and once more prepared the Grebbe Line for war. And on the 11th of May till the 13th of May 1940, the Royal Dutch Army fought on the Grebbe Line against Nazi Germany, of course, with a far smaller army and with weapons from Napoleon's time. They kept the line for 3 days, and on the 14th they even won a chunk land back from Nazi Germany. But then Nazi Germany decided to bombard, what was it again? Made preparements to bombard Rotterdam, and but after the bombardment of Rotterdam, the Dutch army capitulated on the 15th of May, and the Queen fled the country to England. Much changed since the last time I was here. Of course, they built all city besides it. It used to be all farmlands, even in the 10 years ago when I was here with my grandfather, strolling along this line. He telling me stories of his time in the war, in the Second World War. He also served in the Dutch army in the Special Forces unit. So I had many stories about his time, and of course about survival, traveling. He traveled all over the world. It's real nice to walk here again. A little bit of needless information, but on holidays, on birthdays and so on, the men of my family always went for a walk, especially around Christmas, those kind of holidays. We went on walks along this dike, you know, see if we could find any small snakes or a relic of the past, you know, looking at the bunkers, just out and about, strolling through the woods along the dike, all those kinds of stuff. Even getting some wood to start a small fire in the backyard, those kinds of stuff. And it's real funny to me to well, must have been right now more than 10 years ago, you know, to walk here again and relive all those memories. But check the amazing view. On the other side of the water, you got a nice cycling path, which leads all the way into the big city close by, Amersfoort. Walking towards the end of this part of the Grebbe Line, but again, rains all the way from the middle of the Netherlands all the way down to the Rhine, River Rhine. So it's a huge line, many kilometers. Has a couple museums, or close today. But walking here past bunkers, it reminds me of the time I was attacked by a little snake inside of one of those bunkers, and I just couldn't jump out of it because it was already you know, sunken into the earth, and the entrance was blocked by a lot of dirt. So I jumped against the wall and I tried to kick it away. Good times. But I wasn't bitten, so that's why I'm still alive. Nah, there aren't really venomous snakes here in the Netherlands, at least not from people. I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you all next time, another place on the world, or just in my very own country, the Netherlands.